Well, Barcelona's lead, still 12 points. Now they got a game in hand. Barcelona not in action till Monday, but a missed opportunity there.
Let's be honest, our campaign for La Liga was over a long time ago. So even though we lost today, for me, it doesn't matter much. Given our main focus this season is Champions League and probably Copa del Rey because we're in the final. So all we have to do is to use La Liga games to prepare for those matches.
Joining us now, Luis Garcia. Luis, what happened to Real Madrid, especially in the second half?
Yeah, actually, we talked about what happened in the first 45 minutes where Real Madrid dominated for quite 15 minutes. That's why Villarreal was given a lot of respect. And I think that in the second half, Villarreal kind of lose themselves and start playing the way that we are used to play this Etienne team, dominating, pressing very high. They saw that Real Madrid was struggling to take the ball from the back. So a lot of pressure, mistakes from Real Madrid side. And once again, Villarreal scoring goals. Chiquete, it was outstanding the full game. It was a threat every single time that he was on the ball. Nacho couldn't manage to stop it by any chance, only a couple of times because of faults. They wanted more. They saw that Real Madrid had a lot of mistakes, a lot of misunderstanding. We talked about that pre-game. They allowed Real Madrid to sit at the back, and well, Villarreal just got what they needed. 3 points, amazing 3 points for this Villarreal team that get closer to the 4th position with Real Sociedad and Real Madrid, that I think that they say goodbye to La Liga.
As I already said, La Liga was over for Real Madrid before this match. But however, coming to this match, the motivation level for these two teams were not the same case. Because for Real Madrid, there's nothing to win from La Liga. On the other hand, for Villarreal, they still can compete for top 4. So they are playing for top 4. They have more motivation than Real Madrid. That's what we noticed from today's game. If you look into a little bit deeper side, look at Real Madrid's starting lineup. They just wanted to have fun, do something different, maybe enjoy the game, maybe just play less intensely and not get injured and prepare yourself for Champions League game. And to be fair, first 20 minutes was pretty good for Real Madrid. Real Madrid was dominating, playing good, everything was working. After scoring first goal, they slowed their tempo. As a result, the match is lost. Also, for all 3 goals, you can kind of blame Nacho. For all 3 goals Real Madrid conceded, Chakuji had the better of Nacho. Besides, there were no midfield for Real Madrid. There's no control whatsoever.
Villarreal came to play. We talked about that before the game. There was never going to be any thoughts about sitting in. Mm-hmm. And Real Madrid, with the changes, were, shall I say it, slightly vulnerable. And that showed. And Villarreal have got more to play for in terms of the league position. The league title is over for Real Madrid. It doesn't matter if you say technically it's not. Mm-hmm. But for Villarreal, they're still trying and are getting closer to getting into that top 4.
You feel like this, Shaka, was maybe a Real Madrid?
So another reason why we struggled today, look at our midfield here. Like Ceballos, Tchouaméni and Asensio. Asensio, when he was playing camp, was doing decent. However, Ceballos and Tchouaméni double pivot didn't seem to work because Villarreal is a pretty high pressing team. They play high pressing football. So you need a little bit more midfield to play against them.
Team with an eye on Chelsea, beyond the lineup changes and the performance?
Without given the week that Real Madrid had, if Real Madrid get a good result against Chelsea, this game, this performance, this result will be long forgotten. You get through against Barcelona in the Copa del Rey at the Bernabeu. We saw how that was celebrated. Real Madrid's season right now hinges on, what's left is that Copa del Rey final and the Champions League. The league is over. Mm-hmm. Regardless of this result, Real Madrid were not catching Barcelona. So you absolutely understand the changes made and the reasons for it. It's about Chelsea and nothing else. And you do sympathize with Ancelotti in that.
Can you?
So I do agree with Shaka that Real Madrid players, management, everyone coming to this match, they're thinking about Chelsea game because that's the game that what matters to Real Madrid.
You chalk up the issues today for Real Madrid just to those changes, or is there kind of deeper issues at hand, do you think? Because it's 6 changes. That's a significant chunk of your lineup.
I think there is deeper issues when you're looking over the piece of a whole season. There's definitely some issues there, otherwise they would not be the distance they are behind a far from finished Barcelona team.
Well, one thing is that our squad is not complete. We have so many missing puzzle in our squad. We don't have a good left back, we don't have a good right back, and we don't have a right winger. Overall, aside from our midfield, this squad depth is not enough. That's why we lost La Liga. However, when Real Madrid, even this Real Madrid team, when they play in Champions League, they have different level of motivation. You see that the intensity is not the same level. It's totally different. So I would not use this performance to predict performance against Chelsea.
But there's no doubt when you make that amount of changes, it's difficult. Very, very difficult. But particularly in the back line. You know, Rudiger didn't play. Militao come on.
They changed 3 of the 4 in the back
Three of the
line.
4.
Yeah.
So those things are difficult. But as Shaq said, this is all geared now. This is all the eggs in this Champions League basket.
So then why start Vinny? Why start Benzema? Why start Rodrigo? Why start that front 3 today? Why risk them?
Well, you got to start somebody. We talked about this before the show.
The fact that if you look at our squad, who will play instead of Benzema, there's literally none. The only players who can play either Rodrigo, who doesn't play really that good in that position as a striker, or Asensio, who is also not that decent as a striker. The only player who could play in that position is Alvaro. Somehow Carlo doesn't like him. And for Vinicius, Carlo always loves Vinicius. He never leaves Vinicius out.
Those changes. He has a conversation with those players and asks, or if he's uncertain, he asks them how they feel. Are you okay to play this one, play a full 19 this one, given what's to come in the week? And if those players say, yes, I'd prefer to play, then you play them.
Wait a second. Neither of the player will say, oh no, I won't play today. Everyone will say, no, I will play. Which player will say, oh no, I won't play this match? Neither. None.
To the point that the guys are mentioning, Luis, what did you make of the decision, specifically with Benzema, to start him in this game? I know in pregame we talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly. We thought that he could not risk Benzema at all. I think that he's a very, very important player for this Real Madrid, and we saw that on the second half. To start it from the beginning, I think it was a big risk, a knock, a strain, something that could make him feel not well for Wednesday game. But as soon as the second half started, you could see that Benzema wasn't on for this game. He knows how important it is Wednesday's game, how important it is Champions League for Real Madrid this season. And I think they talked to Ancelotti and him at halftime and said, listen, as soon as you start, let's move it on in second half and we'll do the replacement. And we saw Benzema leaving the game. And as soon as he's leaving, you know that in front of Real Madrid is something missing. Vinicius was a threat every single time. 1v1 was beating Foy, was beating Mandy, the centre back. But once he's arriving in that position, there is someone missing. There is the one who capitalizes, the one who is clinical in the last step. We didn't see today much about Rodrigo. And, well, it was Benzema that he was out to rest for the Chelsea game. So I think it was the right call to change him in the second half as soon as possible.
So I do agree with Luis. So one thing, the players who will play against Chelsea, there is some game time. So as expected, Benzema will play a little bit today and Vinicius will play and Rodrigo will play. So I think it's not a bad idea to give Benzema some time to prepare against Chelsea match. Also, if we quickly summarize our performance, our players' performance, first of all, I think the only player today who played decent is Vinicius. Benzema was off, Rodrigo was off, whole midfield was off. Defensively, Nacho, Alaba and Vasquez was really poor.
Talking about the stars and switching a little bit, he's not had much game time, but I think it's been a bit of a struggle for him, Tchouaméni, at Real Madrid so far. Difficult when you're not playing all the time and your game time is limited, but again today we can debate that challenge. It certainly was reckless. But I think his all-round performance was not brilliant. That being said, it wasn't the greatest ever midfield with Asensio floating around and Dani Ceballos in there. And maybe this player would benefit from having the experience of Toni Kroos and Luka Modric beside him. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I certainly feel that we have seen far from his best so far, and he's very limited in short time at Real Madrid. But it's a big step up. It's a big step up to go into that club. And I think he's got a fair amount of work to do.
So I say Tchouaméni is totally different type of a player since he got injured. Before the injury, he was really great. After getting injured, he's not playing good yet. However, being said that, one thing is that for defensive midfielder position, there's one player who has to play in any match, any big match, is Camavinga. The decision of who will play at defensive midfielder between Camavinga and Tchouaméni is very clear. It is Camavinga. So anyway, it's not the ideal result for us, even though it doesn't matter for Real Madrid because La Liga is over. still would love to see our team winning. But sometimes it's a reality. Sometimes you just don't win. And hopefully we will win against Chelsea in our first leg. Let me know your thoughts about today's performance.